Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, everyone, or whatever time it is wherever you are at. Alright, we're in the greenhouse right now, and I think we're going to turn a couple of things around here. There we go. Give the wax plant a better, there we go. Turn it around. Look at all that green growth, man. Seems to like it out here. Seems to be doing very, very nicely. Okay. And this is the chalice vine. We still have to do something with that. It's leading in the pot. We're going to make it stand up straight. And then the Letterboria, which we haven't gotten into yet. This is going to be a giant project. So right now I'm kind of letting it recover and gain back a little more green in its strength here. The crinum's doing very well. We haven't potted this one yet, but the leaves are looking nice and sturdy here and everything. Yeah, I've been a little lax out here, but what I have done is, as you guys know, I rescued this particular sedum from an old cracked pot. It's a little damp. It looks dry, but it's a little damp, so I'm going to let it. It's a dry dweller, so it likes a hot, dry, sunny spot, so that's why it is where it is. And OG's little sunflowers are not doing very well. As you can see, they are stunted, they are misshapen, their leaves are in terrible condition. I told him this was his project. And then, of course, this is our heuchera, or coral bells, as they are more commonly known. And we have one little leaf that looks like it's dried out a little bit. When it comes to potted plants, I sometimes use a systemic. And a systemic is basically, it's a chemical, yes, but I'm only using them in, I don't use them for food items. Excuse me. I use Bayer Rose and Flower Care. It's a 2-in-1 systemic, okay? And what that means is it goes up through the roots. You water it in, you sprinkle a bit on top of the soil, you water it in, and it goes up through the roots and protects the plant against insects and that kind of thing. So, it says right there. Protects against insects, promotes strong roots and beautiful blooms, and it's rainproof protection. Protects for up to 8 weeks and feeds. So, yeah, I just basically pour a little in the cap and sprinkle a little bit on top of, whatever I'm growing in a pot. And I have more plants to bring out here too. So, but I want to catch up on some of this first. So that's what I use as a systemic. These things are wonderful in roses too. Basically because in early spring aphids hit, and normally if it's not too wet they will hit hard, and they're really hard to get rid of. So a systemic protects the plant from the inside out. Like it says, it goes up, you water it in and the plant drinks it in, and it goes up through the roots into the plant, and then the insects don't want to mess with the plant. So when it comes to roses and perennials and things you're not going to eat, or container plants, this is a good bet. This is a product that I would recommend. It actually works. So, there we have that. None, not one, of my amaryllis seeds sprouted, so, and that happens. Sometimes when you breed them, they are sterile. And it was a self-pollination. It was whatever flower it was, Minerva or whatever it was called, I basically bred it to itself. And in certain breeds, in certain varieties, it won't give you viable seeds. So that's what happened, and that's okay. It's worth a shot, right? So, we got that going on. I'm basically just kind of making sure that don't tip over. Okay. That is a little dry. I'm guessing that could use a little bit of watering. Let's see. Just give it a little bit of water here. This should be the only one that needs any kind of moisture. We'll water that. There we go. And then, when that has sufficiently soaked up what it needs to, I will come back and dump that saucer, and then hopefully this week I'm going to get into repotting a lot of this stuff. I notice we have some misshapen leaves here, which I'm not real happy about. I don't really know what that's from. I'm hoping it's not some kind of disease, because I don't see any bugs on it, so I don't think it's any sort of an insect. So, well, you just never know. So we're going to have to keep our eye on that. I've got some moisture spots on the wax plant here. You can see them right there, the little brown spots. It happens when water sits on them, on the leaves. But the wax plant seems to like it out here, so I do need to repot it. But on the other hand, I'm looking at it, and I think I'll take it out of the pot, see how the roots are, and I may just put it right back in with a little fresh soil. It should be fine. Let's see. Let's take a look at our, what do I got here? This should be, yep, okay, see, this is the coir, okay? This is that coconut coir. And it is nice and dark and moist right now. It's been covered, so there's no mold or anything gathering. I may use a handful or two of this in when I, depending upon the type of plant that I'm gonna pot up. I may use just a little bit of this in my normal, very coarse aerated mix, and that will allow me a little bit more moisture retention. Okay, so it won't dry out in a day. You know what I'm saying? Okay. And then that down there, that's my pine bark. And I'm going to have to drain that very shortly too. I want to go and see what other sorts of, oh, look at this. We have a sunflower bloom over here. I stuck these in a pot. Gave them a little systemic. I didn't, well, no, did I put systemic on there? No, I didn't. No, this just has a little bit of Osmocote. And then I've been fertilizing with fertilizer water. I stuck like 5 of them in there, 5 or 6. And while they're doing much better than the ones in the greenhouse, because we do have buds going on here. See, look at that. We've got some buds. So these are going to bloom. We got one blooming right now. These are not, they're not going to be huge sunflowers with ginormous, seeds or anything. But we still have a little squash going on there. And we still got this little one hanging right there. And we've still got our little watermelon. And it's trying. It's doing its best over there. And then if you follow the vines around here, check this out. I think there's another one. Yep, there it is. Look at that. There's another little one. It's trying. It's trying, so yeah. If I had larger pots, or if I just dug in, I could, actually, if I just made a little pile of compost in here, if I brought a pile of compost in here, I could probably grow the hell out of some, really nice squash. So this is really cool, though. It's very interesting. Check out the blooms on these things, how they're curled up. Isn't that nice? They open up before the sun comes up. They open up like at sunrise. They don't stay open for very long. And then they close up during the day for protection. And over here, as you can see, a lot more of the coral bells are blooming. This is the heuchera, I think it's called brownies. And the flowers are really teeny tiny on them. But they're really little tiny bell-shaped white flowers. And there are little stems of them all over the place.